You felt it the moment the knife went in, no warning, just the hush before the cut. That silence when their eyes met yours and they chose to stay calm while you reeled, exposed. Betrayal isn't loud. It's the echo of trust collapsing inside your chest, a private apocalypse you never rehearsed for. You replay their words, their lies twisting in your mind like slow poison, and you taste the doubt they planted. Maybe you deserved it. What if I told you that every wound they inflicted was a map and invitation to find the center of your own power, not through forgiveness, not through pity, but through a brutal reckoning with who you've been and who you must become? You've been taught to chase apologies like medals. You've fallen for the myth that closure waits on their terms. That myth ends here. Imagine standing on a bridge at dusk, the river of regret flowing beneath you. Behind, the world you knew. Ahead, only your silence. That moment is familiar, too familiar. You've stared into that expanse, heart pounding, waiting for permission to let go. But no one's coming. The only permission that matters is the sentence you pass on yourself. They said you were weak because you begged them to stay. They called you cold when you finally withdrew. They needed to believe you had a temperature they could manipulate. Let them cling to their illusion. Your true strength lives in the frost of indifference. You forge now calm, precise, inevitable. This is not comfort. This is not healing. This is a transformation born in the crucible of their betrayal. Feel the pull of rejection sharpening your senses. Let every dismissive glance etch a line of resolve across your face. When you finish this, you'll carry a quiet that unsettles them more than any outburst ever could. If you've ever been broken by their deceit, if you're tired of hearing empty remorse, lean in. Subscribe and share what cut you deepest, because silence only serves those who betrayed you. The blade of their betrayal cut fastest where you least expected your loyalty. When you offered your trust, you handed them the ignition switch to your emotions. They pressed it, watched you burn. Now, every ember of anger is fuel. Let it flare, then learn its contours. Study the ash. Your rage is not chaos. It is a lens sharpened to absolute focus. They believed your heart was a sanctuary. They trespassed, uninvited, sowed fear and doubt among the pillars you built. They did not break you, they revealed the rot you ignored. Feel that revelation as an exposure, not a wound. When light finds decay, it demands removal. You will excise what no longer serves your purpose. Recall the first time you begged for mercy in their eyes. You spoke in tremors. They replied in stillness. That pause, that quiet judgment stung deeper than any insult. Silence was their weapon, and you fell before it. Now, silence becomes yours. In the absence of noise, you become untrackable. Your value unspoken is its own statement. They tested your boundaries like a surgeon feeling for a weak pulse. Each step you let them advance cost another fragment of your will. Boundaries are not suggestions. They are walls you build in steel. As you reconstruct them, imagine each brick hammered in by your own calm resolve. No mortar of anger, only precision. They apologized once half-hearted, slurred, like a ghost brushing past you at midnight. You caught nothing but the shape of their motives. Apology as performance. You stood mute, watched the act unfold. That moment is your template. When they next approach with promises, your stillness will unmask the play. They'll flinch. Feel the shift under your skin as detachment becomes a fortress. You're not numb, you're selective. Every sensation weighed, approved, archived. Their smile no longer dictates your reaction. Your pulse no longer races at the sight of their name. This discipline is your inheritance. Claim it. Remember the nights of replaying every phrase, twisting words until they resembled barbs. You woke in sweat, heart pounding at the phantom echo of their voice. Those nights forged your hunger for clarity. Let that hunger guide you now. When doubt whispers, let your clarity scream back. The louder your self-assurance, the more their shadows shrink. They thrived on your apologies. Your explanations proof you valued their perception over your own truth. You handed them the map to your behavior. Erase it. Refuse to explain. A statement exists only in its delivery. Your absence of commentary will dismantle their narrative. They will question their assumptions long after you walk away. Every crack they exploited in your armor taught you the shape of vulnerability. Vulnerability is a tool, not a weakness. You choose where to expose it now. Under your command, it compels respect. Let them see the steel beneath your flesh, and they will hesitate before striking again. Feel the pulse of your own silence. It swells like a tide, unstoppable, reshaping the coast of your identity. They will feel its pressure, the weight of absence pressing on their certainty. In that pressure lies your power. You do not scream for recognition, you exist beyond their reach. This is not vengeance. Vengeance is reactive. You are proactive. You are the calm before their panic, the certainty before their uncertainty. Your presence is a cold mirror. When they face it, they will see what they have betrayed, and it will haunt them. They counted on your craving for approval. They expected your return. Instead, you close the door behind you. Step into the hall of your own will. Listen to the echo your footsteps, unaccompanied, unwavering. They belong to someone new, someone unbroken by their deceit. They watched you hesitate at the crossroads of dignity and desperation. That moment, your gaze flickered back toward them, pleading for guidance you should have never sought. They catalogued that flicker, stored it as evidence of your need. Now, your compass points only inward. Every decision you make is drawn from the 0 point of your own resolve. Feel the gravity of your own intention as it pulls you forward. Let the crisp sense of purpose eclipse every memory of their warmth. Warmth is a currency. You spent yours on counterfeit gestures. Purpose is a fortress built stone by stone, moment by moment, in absolute solitude. They believed they owned your narrative. They wrote the prologue, paused before the climax, left you stranded in a limbo of maybe tomorrow. But you're the author. You decide when the chapter ends. Reimagine your story with every comma reversed into a dagger, every period an exclamation of finality. Remember how your heart raced when you saw them smile at someone else, as if your presence had vanished overnight. That spike of panicked jealousy revealed the fracture lines in your foundation. Now, jealousy is a signal flare warning you where to fortify. Turn its heat inward. Let it temper your steel. They used your empathy as a leash. Every time you reached out, you tightened the chain around your own throat. Empathy isn't a gift to strangers. It's an instrument to be wielded, and only on your own terms. Your concern is selective, your compassion strategic. They will never know its reach. Hear the echo of your own breath in empty rooms, the silence resonating louder than any apology they could utter. In that silence, you learn to inhabit your own skin without apology. You become the space they cannot fill, the silence they cannot buy. They whispered your vulnerabilities to others in hushed tones, trading your secrets for audience applause. Their betrayal was a performance for the crowd. Your reaction will be your own performance absent. Let the empty seats bear witness to your composure. They will applaud nothing, because you demand nothing. Feel how your pulse steadies as you retract from every expectation they set. Their standards were arbitrary. Your standards are immutable. You calibrate your own worth, measure your own victories. Their applause is irrelevant. The only audience that matters listens within. They assumed you would chase after every fragment of their broken promises, like a dog sniffing at a discarded bone. Watch them bite air when you step back. In that recoil lies your leverage. You're the only asset they can't depreciate. Their loss of control becomes your currency. Recall the sting when they offered half-truths, broken shards of commitment, expecting you to glue them together with your hope. But glass remains glass. Whatever cuts once will cut again. You no longer collect fragments. You shape whole structures meant to endure. Let your solitude sharpen every sense. In quiet vigilance, you detect the slightest tremor of their approach, the change in tone, the hesitation in their eyes. You are a predator in velvet. You choose when to stalk, when to wait, when to pounce. They never see you coming. They thrived on chaos, fed on the chaos they created within you. They labeled your stability boring, as if boredom were a crime. But boredom is strength. It is the calm in which seeds of strategy germinate. While they chase their own shadows, You cultivate your domain in silence. Imagine their faces when they realize you replaced emotional bonds with ironclad resolve. That moment will be their reckoning when they understand they cannot crack the code of your indifference. Your absence of reaction is a verdict harsher than any word. The moment of highest power is when you choose nothing. You will not beg, not bargain, not bleed. You will simply stand, unyielding, as the world rages around you. In your stillness, you declare victory. They counted on your awareness of every nuance, the inflection in your voice, the twitch of your jaw, the flicker behind your eyes. They believed they held the remote control to your presence. Now that remote lies shattered at your feet. You don't react because nothing they do moves you. You are the still lake under the storm, reflecting nothing but your own clarity. Remember the feast of their excuses, how they served them to you in courses, each thinner than the last. You swallowed their morsels until you starved of conviction. Now, you reject every bite that isn't forged by your own hand. You feed on plans, on rituals of solitude, on the architecture of your own unwavering intent. They will starve for your attention while you dine on self-possession. Feel the weight of each promise you make to yourself, a contract sealed in silence. No ledger tracks these vows, no witness stands by to confirm. Yet they bind you with greater force than any oath they've broken. When you pledge to stand unmoved, to speak only when shadows bow before you, that pledge becomes your sword and shield. The world notices. They hesitate before drawing their own. They aimed for your core, thinking a single blow would send you reeling. But every blow they struck taught you the layout of your own body, the hidden angles where pain becomes power. Pain is now a map etched into your skin, guiding you toward blind spots where fear still lingers. You patrol those corners with deliberate calm, extinguishing weakness before it blooms into regret. Recall how their laughter rang hollow in rooms once shared, how you mistook their amusement for affection. That laughter echoed off walls you built for them, reverberating until the mortar cracked. In its wake, you saw the blueprint of betrayal cracks where trust turned brittle. You rebuild on that blueprint, replacing every hollow chamber with solid resolve. No echo of their voice will ever resonate in those halls again. They engineered scenarios to catch you off balance, to exploit the split second when your guard faltered. They thrived in chaos. In the moment, your heart raced faster than your thoughts. Now, you manufacture chaos on your own terms, a precise storm that clears the field. They scramble in confusion, searching for the target that once bled so easily. But the target has moved. You stand on new ground, surveying the aftermath of your own making. Notice how the world shifts when you stop begging for tolerance. Doors that once stayed closed begin to crack, drawn by an energy they can't name. People lean in, compelled not by your words, but by the gravity of your silence. They sense something volatile beneath the calm, as if a volcano sleeps behind your eyes, and they respect you for it. They won't cross you. They fear the eruption you keep coiled under restraint. They hoped you'd break the moment you realized forgiveness was a debt you could never repay. But forgiveness was never yours to grant. It belonged to them, and they squandered it in their performance of remorse. By refusing to forgive, you reclaim the terms of engagement. They must now negotiate with your absence, barter for scraps of relevance you no longer value. Your true power lives in that absence. It speaks louder than any diatribe you could unleash. It is a void they must fill, and they will exhaust themselves trying. Yet you remain untouched, watching their struggle with the detached interest of a chess master studying pieces he no longer needs. Your next move is already written in the silence you maintain. They assumed your silence was surrender, that if you said nothing, you felt nothing. But silence is not absence of feeling. It is the choice to channel every impulse into steel. Each moment you sit unmoved, you forge another link in an unbreakable chain. Your stillness is a weapon. They see the calm, sense the threat, and recoil. Feel the tension coil beneath your skin, like a predator waiting in the underbrush. They mistake your patience for hesitation, blind to the precision born in every quiet breath. As you withdraw from their battlefield, you chart a new terrain of influence, one where your unspoken will direct the currents of every interaction. Recall how they baited you with nostalgia, dragging past smiles into present arguments. They whispered of what we used to be, hoping to trap you in memories you no longer inhabit. Those memories are ghosts you walk among them, but they no longer tether you. Their echoes only remind you how far you've risen above their petty manipulations. They thrust their judgments at you like daggers cold, deliberate statements meant to pierce your confidence. You felt the sting once, tasted the iron of their contempt. Now, every judgment glances off your armor of self-possession. Let their words dissipate in the air, like sparks from stone bright for an instant, then gone. In the hush of your detachment, notice how desire shifts. You no longer crave their approval, you crave yourself. The shift scrapes across your soul like sandpaper, rough at first, but polishing your core until it reflects only truth. Your reflection stares back with indifference. They can see your eyes, but cannot touch your resolve. They tried to brand you with their failures, projecting every flaw onto your silhouette. They lit fires at your feet and called you the arsonist. Now you control the blaze. You decide what burns, what remains. Let their projections become tinder beneath your will. As their accusations rise in smoke, stand in the center of the inferno, unmoved, unconsumed. Remember the sting of their last offer, the hollow bargain they dangled to keep you within reach. You almost reached before clarity cracked that mirage. That bargain was built on sand. Your clarity is bedrock. You no longer negotiate with phantoms. Your table is set for one, and you dine in the banquet hall of your own making. Feel how every step away from them strengthens your stance. You're not escaping, you're returning to yourself. They were detours necessary, painful the lessons etched into your marrow. Now your spine carries their weight as testimony. Each vertebra a story of betrayal, each joint a testament to survival. They banked on your empathy to rescue them, to forgive and repair their damage. They believed your heart would demand restitution. But your empathy is a blade. You can sheath it or unsheath it at will. You save it for battles you choose. Every time you withhold it from them, you reclaim another ounce of power. Notice the world bending toward you when you refuse to plead. Doors unlatch in your presence. People gravitate into your orbit, drawn by the magnetic field of certainty. They lean in, hoping to capture a fragment of your clarity, to borrow a spark of your will. You give nothing. Their hunger only sharpens your advantage. They positioned you at the center of their drama, expecting you to perform. The curtain dropped, the house lights came on, and they watched for your encore. But you walk off stage. In the empty theater, your absence is the final act. They search the aisles for you, voices echoing unanswered. Feel the absence of their audience as your triumph. No applause needed. You answer only to yourself. Each decision, each boundary drawn, each unspoken verdict is recorded in the ledger of your own truth. They have no access. They own no chapters of your story from this point on. They believed you were addicted to resolution, that you'd circle back until the knot untied itself. But resolution is a myth they propagated to keep you entangled. You rewrite the script, no loose ends, no dangling threads. You sever the final ties in one decisive act of detachment. In your newfound domain, betrayal is a tool, not a curse. It teaches you where to build, where to burn, where to stand. You are both cartographer and conqueror, mapping your own terrain, claiming it with each silent stride. They will learn of your empire not through proclamations, but through the vacuum you leave behind. Ready yourself for the moment they realize they cannot negotiate with absence. That moment will be their undoing, a confrontation with their own impotence. Your silence will echo louder than any scream. You've crossed the threshold into territory they believed unreachable, the silent citadel of your own resolve. Here, every promise you keep to yourself reverberates louder than their broken vows. The absence of their voices becomes the anthem of your sovereignty, echoing through the halls you built brick by careful brick. There is no reconciliation in this domain, only recognition of your own authority. You carry no torch for their return, no prayers for their remorse. Their regrets are dust in your wake, scattered by the wind of your indifference. In their place, you cultivate a landscape of purpose so stark, so unyielding, that no plea can breach its walls. This is the final truth. Forgiveness is a currency they never earned, and your refusal to spend it marks you as a keeper of higher stakes. You don't forgive to free them, you withhold mercy to free yourself. Each moment you hold your silence intact, you inscribe a verdict more merciless than any word. They will search for you in the echoes of old arguments, in the fragments of shared history, and find only an empty chamber lined with steel. That absence will become their reckoning, the realization that the person they betrayed no longer exists for their inspection. Walk away now, not as someone hurt, but as someone remade. In the wake of betrayal, you have discovered the shape of your own dominion, a still, unbreakable fortress of self. Let them stand outside its walls, and there, let their desperation become your final triumph.